Hey Jonesy Babes and Anonymous Jonesy Babes, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee, 14 years old, lived in Florida, and he unalived both of his parents, his mother and father. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Trevor Lee was charged with second-degree murder in connection with the unaliving of his parents, 44-year-old David Lee and 45-year-old Brandy Smith. Lee and Smith were found deceased on August 4th in the bedroom of their home in Middleburg, Florida, which is just outside Jacksonville, Florida. An audio recording captured the 911 call the 14-year-old placed to local law enforcement and told dispatchers he just unalived his parents, local news outlets reported. Much of the call is redacted due to the ongoing investigation, but there are parts in which Lee says he needs to pray and asks the dispatcher to pray for him. Do you pray? The teen asked the dispatcher. Go ahead, I'll listen to you. The 911 dispatcher responds. Well, I was going to ask if you could pray for me, ma'am. I'll definitely be praying for you, son, the dispatcher responds. According to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, Lee and Smith sustained multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators found several spent shell casings in their bedroom, as well as the gun their son reportedly used to unalive them. After the shooting, the 14-year-old walked a mile down the road to a local church, where he called 911. He was taken into custody there. A preliminary investigation revealed that the unaliving stemmed from an argument between the teen and his parents on Sunday night. It appears there was some sort of domestic argument late that night between Trevor and his parents, and that this unaliving came from that argument. Clay County Sheriff Michelle Cook said. A person who knew the family also called 911 asking dispatchers to send help and telling them that the family had a good day earlier that day and went to the movies. After the story came to light, people began sharing online alongside an old Facebook post that Smith posted in 2019 about her son, asking friends and loved ones to keep them lifted up in prayer. This little boy gives me pure HELL. Everything I did to my parents, I'm getting it back 10 times. Y'all keep us uplifted in prayer. Now, that's not anything unusual to say as a parent, because I have girls, okay? And even though my girls are grown now, but when they were teenagers, oh my God. What? Their mouth. You know, the talking back, the attitude, the behavior. And I saw some of that, of what they had going on. I saw myself. I said, this looked familiar. And I was like, but see, I didn't tolerate that. You get what I'm saying? Yes, I saw myself, you know, because I was a teen once. And I had a mouth. And my behavior was slick, but doesn't mean as a parent you got to take it. You know, you could be like, oh, Lord have mercy, this girl acted just like me as a kid, but I addressed it. You know what I'm saying? So by her saying that, I'm not surprised. You know, some parents say it all the time. They see themselves in their children, whether it's the mouthiness or the behavior. You know, local law enforcement is saying they're looking into the teen's mental health and school history. Friends and family members said they were shocked to hear about the unalivings. Trevor's cousin told the news outlet he was a good kid and a straight A student. I don't know what caused him to do it, James Lewis said. I guess we'll never know what caused him to do it. But like I said, he had good parents. So for him to do that, we just don't know why. He was funny, charismatic. He always brought good energy, good vibes. Trevor's best friend, Kyrie Bamman, said as well. They were probably the best, or one of the best families I knew. Wow. I don't know what got into this teenage boy of him wanting to do that. We don't know if he had any mental health history. We just don't know. From what his friends were saying, he was a straight A student. And they were shocked that this happened. So I wonder what that argument was about. But you know what? There's a case that I was following on my other channel. This boy, 15, he unalived his family, his sister, his brothers. And I know different states have different laws. Now, because of his age, they kept his name and picture out of the news. See, I know what he looked like, and I know his full name because I was looking for the information. But they didn't post his face, and they didn't say his name. They made sure to keep that out of the news. But Trevor here is 14 years old. Yes, he unalived his parents, but his face is in the news, and so is his name, and he's 14. And like I said, I know states do things differently, but I just feel like if that's how it is for juveniles, for young teenagers, because they're not 18, they're not adults, it should be that all the way around. It shouldn't matter which state you're in. If the person is very young and you don't want their name and face out there till they're 18, it should be like that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Not just in certain places. But I just want to bring that to your attention. I just noticed that the other guy, he was 15. He unalived his mom, his dad, his siblings. One sibling had to act like she wasn't alive to escape. And his name and face is not out there. The only thing that's out there is his initials. That's it. But Trevor here, his name and his face is out there. And he's 14. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about what I just discussed. And let me know your thoughts about this whole thing with Trevor and what he did to his parents. Do you think he has some type of mental health going on? Do you think he has mental health illness? And that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. But he's 14 and he had a disagreement with his family. What did they say to him for him to want to do this? Hopefully, he will tell the authorities and they'll give us an update. But until then, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.